Good evening and salutations, my Days of Elias fans. Okay, let's start off with Connie for a minute because it's kind of central in a way to sit there and tell it in this order. She is sitting there, once again, her crazy ass is talking to, well, her imaginary friend, Li Shen. And a couple of things that they talk about is Bobby. Bobby, to her, is going to be a loose end because here's the thing. A lot of this a lot of her freedom hinges on the fact that Bobby is going to be able to stay playing as Everett, that no one's going to be the wiser. And, her conscience, which is Shen, isn't it? They're saying, what if people figure out, what if Jada, smart Jada, is able to figure out that he's pretending to be Everett? Same thing with Steph. What happens if somebody figures out that, he's just pretending the whole time? And Kanye's like, well, I guess I gotta sit there and tie up a loose end. And you can see throughout the episode, first, Bobby, playing Everett, is very dismissive and cold to Stephanie. The minute that she walks up and is like, hey, how you doing? He's like, oh, just let you know I'm not getting back together with you. So I don't want you to sit there and get your hopes up or anything. That's not what she said at all. She just stood there while you were monologuing like a DC villain to yourself. She just wanted to make sure you was okay. But you're just like, hey, what are you doing? I don't like you. Go away, pretty much. Like he's giving off that vibe. And, when he leaves, when she's sitting there talking to Kayla, she's like, it's hurting and stuff like that. I can't be with him. After talk about the whole wedding drama, she's like, I can't be with him. But he was being very cold and dismissive. Like it was just like, wow, like what's going on with him? So Kayla experiences the same thing at some point when she runs into Bobby. Now, on some level, she does sit there when she confronts him. She does sit there and say, "Well, it's none of my business." But you're being very cold and very dismissive, and this, that, and the third. And I just want you to know that she does care about you. So maybe you can kind of ease up a little bit. And Bobby is just like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It is none of your business. And this is something. This is a trait of Bobby where you just see some of those people that just give no F's, and it's just like I want to sit there and say socially awkward, but there's no tact. That's Bobby right there. That's one of those things where it's like I don't think he could have hit it even if he wanted to. His disdain was so bad for Stephanie that he wound up being very cold to her and completely out of character from Everett. And then he does the same thing to Kayla. And even when he's sitting there talking to Jada, he's all like, "Oh, just let you know, me and Stephanie broke up." Okay, like, what are you hinting at? He's all like, "Oh, I want to sit there and help you out," and um, it's just the way that he's coming across. Hold on, let me check it out for a second. He's all like, "Oh, I can help you out, try to find a killer or whatever," and Jada's like, "I mean, okay, but like we barely know each other, so why are you being so going out of your way?" Now, of course, Bobby gives some sort of excuse, talking about, well, I was in a coma for a year, so, I have sympathy for him. He starts, like, touching her shoulder and offering her to buy, like, food for her while she just sits there. And again, Jada's like, this is just really out of pocket. So at some point, Jada meets Stephanie, and they both kind of agree that his behavior was just very off when Jada was like, yeah, there's something about Everett just a little kind of off. He also did sit there and say, well, he was integrating with, he was starting to become more integrated with Bobby. and even hinted at, well, I'm more integrated with Bobby, so I might know something about the killer, but I might not, just to kind of keep her interested long enough to be like, okay, well, I'll check on you from time to time. And they both are, they both looking at each other like, what if that's not Everett? What if that's Bobby? And that's exactly what Connie was Smith there worried about, what her conscience was worried about it. Um, so Kristen tells Ava, to get Gabby signed for Gabby Sheep. We need it. We need it. And of course, Ava is all like, oh, I don't want to be around her. I don't want to work for her. I feel super guilty. I was like, isn't it, what happened to my Princess Ava, where it's like she was a little more somewhat cool hand looks and she wasn't so worried about it slipping out or anything like that. Like, why is she so afraid of this secret coming out? It's like, okay, it happened. Like, y'all two weren't really that close anyway. Hell, at some point when they do meet up and she's asking how's Rafe doing, Gabby's like, why? Are you jealous and you're not the person that stabbed her in the back? After everything that um Ava did to Rafe. So I'm like, why are you so worried? Like you're trying to worry about rocking the boat or something. Okay, the secret comes out, it's gonna be worse on Stefan than it's going on you. What are you afraid of? Like I don't get it. I don't understand this. This Ava Vitale that I known when I started watching it, who was blackmailing and really had Philip shook, is all like, oh my god, I don't want her to find out. It's like, is it really that big of a deal? Now Stefan does want to smoothing things over with Gabby because of the whole making, well, he was feeling like she was pushing him away. So he does apologize for that. Um, it is weird because Gabby apologizes after they make love. She's all like, make love to me. And then they do it. And she's like, okay, so I'm sorry for me betraying you. I was like, when y'all was standing up horizontal, you didn't sit there and seem that apologetic. So is that all it takes to sit there and get an apology out of you? A little 5, 10 minutes or however long y'all go at it, and then you're just a little more receptive, more understanding. Now he apologizes for being so distant and cold to her after how long they spent time from each other. And Gabby's just like, listen, at the end of the day, we can screw over everyone else. Okay, we got to be on the same page about this. Um, Now again, she does sign. She does sign the working for doing the whole Gabby Sheep thing because Rafe was like, you need to get your life back together. And Stefan talking to this Kristen and finds out that Gabby's going to be working there close with Ava. He's uncomfortable. He's sitting there thinking that Kristen's doing it out of revenge because they blackmailed her to giving up her shares, saying, hey, listen, if you don't give up shares, we got a video basically making it look like you're a bad mom. And honestly, tell you the truth, she was like, well, in all reality, I wouldn't blame her if she did. And she was like, yeah, I should do that, but we can bond over hating EJ. Kristen, you're a smart, complicated woman. I think you can do both. I totally forgot about that story. And part of me, and when I sit there and think about that, that was a horrible thing to do, to sit there and try to make her look like a bad mother. And it makes me think, why does she agree to help Stefan with the money to get away when he was going to break out Gabby? Why does she have such sympathy towards the man who's going to make her look bad and practically forcibly remove, giving up her shares? I totally forgot about that, and now I'm sitting there looking at that. I'm just like, well, one, I wish I would have brought it up before when I was talking about that video or that episode, but just in general, man, that really does make any sense. Anyway, Ava comes in. It was like, yeah, it's a done deal. I got her signed and everything like that, so you get to go. And Connie was also talking, again, talking to her conscience Shen about what if Rafe wakes up. And also, apparently, she wore gloves. I don't even remember her wearing gloves, so she was like, they're not going to find her gloves. She's all like, oh, I'm not an amateur. And I was like, And that remains to be determined. But she does want to go into the hospital and make sure, hey, listen, there's a good chance that you may pull through. And like Kayla said to Jada when she was there, it happened years ago, and he was able to sit there and pull through and get out of a coma. So, you know, she ain't going to take that chance. But as she's about to turn off the life support, Gabby's like, what are you doing in this room? What are you doing? I'm very curious to sit there and see how she's going to come up with a way to explain herself of being in this man's room, and she don't even know him to Gabby's knowledge. So that's going to be interesting. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. There's probably more that I didn't say, but if I missed anything, either write it down in the comment section or come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, Young and Restless, and I'll see you in the next video.